Welcome to the Pulse of the Heartland podcast. This is the Monday night Funcast. We're going to recap all of the super wildcard weekend football matchups here. We got one game going on right now, the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. Cowboys kicker can't keep the ball on the field, it looks like. So that's fun. But yeah, thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it. Just want to thank you for following along every week and, hitting us with some chat here. We like to answer back. So do that. That's fun. But how can everybody get a hold of us, Joey? How can everybody find us?
Hi, everybody. I'm here for a Monday. It's weird. But yeah, you can find us at Heartland Pulse on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch. And then just search Pulse of the Heartland for all of our YouTube stuff. And then also on Facebook. And then, as always, you can find us every single time there's a podcast out on all your major podcast platforms, and join us live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays 8:30 on YouTube.
Guys, I think we need to branch out to more social medias.
Yeah, we might have to create one.
We also have a website that we're affiliated with called inthezone.studio, so you can find all of our stuff on there as well if you're looking for it.
Yeah, go check out inthezone.studio as well, and just go through that, click on everything.
Still waiting on Bryant to create our OnlyFans. I don't know when that's happening, but
it takes a lot. I'm not putting my credit card down. That's all I know.
Well, you would be the one reaping the benefits, getting the money. Come on.
Okay, now you're starting to intrigue me here.
What was the social media platform that was going to be like super right wing from the dude from MyPillow?
Parler?
Was Parler. Yeah, we got to get a Parler too, just to hit them all.
We need a Be Real. I don't think Google Plus is a thing anymore. We could do that. I don't think we have MySpace yet.
We don't have a Snapchat, a TikTok. What are we?
Yeah, do we have a Truth Social yet?
A Mammoth.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Extreme from way back in the day.
Extreme.
Tumblr.
MySpace is the only thing we need.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that post not porn on Pornhub. It's really weird. Like, here's my review of, and it's just whatever product they want, and it's.
How did you find those videos?
It makes no sense. They just pop up randomly.
It's like, I was trying to find a review on this television I want to buy. How did I end up here? Mom, I don't know.
Well, and it would be like, it's like, guy fucks 3 girls in a row. It's like him doing 3 headshots in a row, like in Call of Duty. Those clickbaity ones, I get those. But
now you guys have me intrigued. What happens if I go on there and search for like Vizio M series or something like that?
Oh, yeah, just do Vizio. I'd be interested to see what could even come of that. But yeah, there's some people that ironically just like instead of like on Twitch, they're just like, I'm just going on the hub. I don't think they could live stream, but to each their own, I guess.
Yep. All right. Well, Bryant, what are you drinking?
Water.
Just water.
Yeah, I'm I've had a cold lingering for about 3 weeks now. So I finally went to the doctor and I had to take like 8 pills, and I'm not feeling the best right now. So I'm trying to hydrate and kick this thing out of my system.
Get Bryant's flu game today.
Yeah.
Getting my bronchitis.
Got the bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody got time for that. Yes. I sure as fuck don't got time for this. So.
Yeah. Well, you need a cold pop. Well, Ryan, what are you drinking over there?
I think Clark and I are kind of on the same thing today. The Elijah Craig. Mine might be a little emptier than his. Yeah, mine's a little emptier
Cheers,
than
my
his.
friend. Cheers.
Oh, you got the straight rye. I've got the small batch. So.
Oh yeah, a little straight rye.
Yep.
Yep.
I like me some Elijah Craig. That's for sure.
It's pretty good.
I can't say I've ever had it.
Joe. Well, if you would have came out this weekend.
Sorry.
It'll probably last me and the other whiskeys I gathered this Christmas until next Christmas. So perfect.
I bought that Angel's Envy around Christmas time, and it's absolutely amazing. If you have $50 to spend, that stuff is worth it. But it's like I really should finish something before I dig deep into that one.
Just keep collecting.
Yeah.
I'm still working on the Oak and Eden that I bought. I'm pretty sure it was last winter.
Nice.
You need to go harder.
Yeah, I know. Joey, what are you drinking?
I went a little hard last night with some vodka, so I'm just doing diet cherry 7-Up 0 sugars tonight.
Yeah. We're old.
No caffeine, huh?
No, actually, the other one I had were Sunkist, so yeah, I didn't have any caffeine, but I did some of the Pornhub research, and yeah, there's a whole section on just video games, Walter White, and then stepsister porn all at the same time. So it's kind of cool. I think I found my channel.
Yeah. Mr. White, what are you doing there? I'm all stuck. Yeah.
Trent, what are you
What if
drinking
it
over
is
there?
just like they just like learn chemistry?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's the whole "My name is Walter White" like scene.
There's got to be Bob Ross videos on there, aren't there?
I'm on it.
Jesus. Anyway, but yes, I'm just drinking water as well.
We are extremely old, guys.
That's not what we wanted to know, Trent. Joey, back to you.
Bob Ross. He is not on Pornhub. There is The Joy of Painting Feet with Barb Ross. Blow Me Blue. Yeah, it sounds sexual. Oh, she is topless. Yeah, hell yeah.
You can see that at the Sturgis rally. You go walking by. Body paint is a huge thing during the rally. And our adult store, Dick and Jane's in town here, would be very happy to paint anybody's bodies that really want it. But driving home from work, I have to go down the busiest street in Sturgis. And yeah, you see a lot of things that you really don't want to see, to be honest. But hey, it's an experience.
But they're going to show you anyway.
I figured this was going to take us into our sponsor for this video, Dick and Jane's.
The best one I ever saw, though, is this woman. She had to be in her 50s, very heavily endowed and stuff, but has a bulldog painted on her, and her boobs are the jowls. It was very artistic, and
so
nice.
Using your resources.
Question: you say Dick and Jane's? Is it Dick and Jane's or
in?
And it's Dick and Jane's. Yeah.
They missed an opportunity right there, man.
I think they knew what they did.
So here's my favorite thing. The Sturgis, I think, is the original, and then they opened one in Rapid City not too long ago. And so they had a billboard along the interstate going to Rapid, and right where that billboard is, they built an elementary school right by that billboard.
Hey, kids got to learn some way. Either that or on the bus. One of the two.
I hope it's only 500 feet away from the school.
It was not. It was literally on the school property.
Yikes.
The Bob Ross video I clicked on, I'll let you use your imagination on how they use the paintbrushes. Let's put it that way.
It's taking me places.
So one of these years, I got to come out to Sturgis, man. I got to do it.
You finally convinced him.
No,
am not. I'm
I've
not a big rally
always-
person. You're going to have a hard time getting me to go down there, but you've got a place to stay.
See, yeah, that's just it. Like, I don't live there. I don't experience it every year. I want to experience the rally just once, and just so say I can did it. I don't have a bike. I don't need a bike.
Yeah.
Just go drop me off downtown, and I'll be good for the day.
I'll say this: you
drop me off
really,
on your way to work. Pick
you
me up
really
on the way home.
you really won't find any trouble during the rally. You really won't.
Yeah.
It's a pretty just a crowd that wants to have fun, but it's just not my crowd.
Yeah. Go do some of the concerts. Maybe someday.
I always thought it'd be fun if the Impractical Jokers would come out during the rally, because one of them would get their asses kicked. Now that would be a way to get yourself in trouble.
Didn't are they still together?
Yeah, he's kicked off now.
Just Joe is gone. I think new season starts in February. So
is he the one that like is kind of off doing his own stand-up stuff now?
Yeah. He's funny. He got divorced and everything, and he wanted to take time off from the show to be with his kids, and now he's just doing stand-up everywhere in the country every other weekend.
Love it.
Well, let's jump into this thing here. We'll talk about the games here. We'll start with Saturday with the game that everybody was looking forward to. I know Bryant and I was. Brock Purdy doing Brock Purdy things. During the first half of that game, it was so the 49ers and the Seahawks. During the first half of the game, he didn't look great. And there was like, oh, he's coming back down to earth. Oh, there he is, being a rookie. Yeah, well, second half, he went nuts.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just going to say he officially has had, and he's probably had this for a couple weeks, but he has, I think right now is he 7-0 right now or 6-0 in his career?
Says he's 6-0 as a starter, and then he won that game that he played most of when Garoppolo got hurt.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's 6-0 in the games he starts, so he's got 4 more wins than Trey Lance does. He's got more touchdowns, yards, everything. I mean, I think with this win here, I don't know how you take the job away from Purdy right now, and the Niners are going to be dangerous for the next few years. I think they realistically will see what they can get out of Trey from any suitor, because it sounds like Trey wasn't Shanahan's guy. They kind of forced Shanahan to take him as their pick because he did go 17-0 in college. But, I mean, you're just seeing how one guy, it was a struggle week in and week out. I wouldn't even say struggle. He just it wasn't quite clicking. And you can look at also the added benefit of he has had for the most part, a healthy wide receiver core. He's had the addition of Christian. But, I mean, how do you argue against being undefeated right now and the system is just working with him?
Yeah, he fits very well. And, I've heard some people are like, well, I mean, he's got Ayuk, or he's got Debo, he's got Kittle, he's got McCaffrey, he's got all these weapons. I mean, you could. Yeah. What did Trey Lance and what did Jimmy G do with all those? Nothing.
Yeah. So the only one different is McCaffrey, and Jimmy G had him for a few games too, and it was nothing as spectacular.
So to say that it's all those other guys, it's like, but the other quarterbacks did nothing with them. So.
Yeah. Name a team in the playoffs that doesn't have weapons on offense.
Exactly.
That's what it takes.
With those other guys, it was 100% a defensive team. It was because of the defense that they were winning games, and the offense was doing just enough to win.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I watched most of that game. It's kind of flipping back and forth because they had the Iowa State KU basketball game was on at the same time. But yeah, they turned it around in the second half and just kind of blew the doors off them there in the second half. It was a good, fun game to watch if you're rooting for the 49ers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I also think from the opposite side, I think Geno Smith gets another year at least with Pete Carroll. Now they'll probably, if they have the right prospect drop to them, they might take someone on. But I mean, at this point, I think Geno's only going to get better in that system.
But then Geno set all the Seahawks passing records this year, and that's after having Russ for the last decade.
The $250 million man?
Whew. Not a good look.
So do you think San Francisco, since he's under the rookie contract, do you think they try to trade Trey Lance or just keep him there in case Brock does seem to go back?
I think they trade him because they can get something for him still, I would think, something decent, and they still haven't paid him yet. So the money, it makes sense for them to try to trade him before they have to give him anything more.
Yeah, I mean, and this might be where they potentially could get some decent value out of Trey Lance as well. But very good point. I mean, they could very well just say, we're just going to keep both of you because you're both super cheap quarterbacks and both are familiar with the system, and get rid of Jimmy G.
Yeah.
I mean, and you might be right that he wasn't Shanahan's first choice. But it's, it reeks of one of those situations where he regresses and has like 2 bad games, and all of a sudden, nope, can't keep going with Purdy. You got to go with this guy that we used the top 5 pick on.
Yeah. And I
Which,
mein,
not right, but
to change the subject from Purdy here, but McCaffrey had a good game rushing as well. He did the last few games watching them. McCaffrey's looked really good. He kind of didn't have that. Well, the beginning of the year this year when he was in Carolina, and even last year, he didn't have a great year. So, I mean, I think he's even stepping up as well.
It helps to have a good running game when you have a competent passing game. Like they just did not have that in Carolina either this year or last year with Darnold, Baker, whoever was under center there. Like it helps a lot knowing that, Purdy doesn't have to make all the spectacular plays. He can kind of get comfortable in that offense, and Shanahan's offense is always going to be run first anyway. So CMC should put up numbers. But again, you have to have that passing game in order to complement the running game if you're run heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing we touched on it about a month or so ago, you got to remember Brock Purdy, he started 3.5 years at Iowa State. He started for 3 full years in high school. He has played more games than Trey Lance has probably his whole life, So, I mean, yes, he's Mr. Irrelevant, but he also did set a multiple school records at a Power 5 Division I school. Now, is it one of the worst in the history? Yeah, probably. But guess what? He is still started for 3.5 years, and he has had the number of games and the experience where, trust me, Joey's heard me, and Trent has probably done the same thing, where we see him make a lot of the stupid mistakes that he did when in his career at Iowa State. He had plenty of time to work through all those kinks, and now you're seeing a guy that's probably played twice as many games as Trey Lance has in the last 7 years.
Mr. Irrelevant. I thought we were talking about Captain Experience here.
Yeah, Mr. Experience.
So that play where Purdy was running around in the backfield and avoiding defenders, and then throws an absolute freaking dart to Brandon Ayuk, who drops it in the corner of the end zone. I thought that dude's going to be the most hated man in Iowa right now. That play, if he would have caught that would have been like a career highlight play for Brock Purdy in his 7th game ever. That play was nuts, and it was just a dropped pass like that. It was perfectly played.
I'm just hoping for the remake for the Montana to the back of the end zone throw from Purdy to Kittle. I will just cream all my jeans if that happens.
Yeah, Kittle keeps having good games. It's just what we needed. It's what Iowa and Iowa State fans needed to just bring us together. It was Purdy and Kittle.
We didn't need though, Trent. I'm going to kill whoever at Fox made the stat that it's like Brock Purdy didn't beat his rival Iowa Hawkeyes in college. It's like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything in the playoffs? With it, just they had to have talked Kittle at that point.
I think was fake. That had to have been 100% faked and photoshopped, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I just retweeted it from the internet.
It's so funny if it was real.
I didn't see it, and I watched 90% of that game probably.
Yeah.
I didn't see the first half all that well. I saw probably most of the second quarter, but not all the first half.
Yeah, I never saw it.
But yeah, I mean, if that was real, fuck that guy. If that's a troll and it got me, holy shit, that was a very good troll. It looked very like he never recorded. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is supposed to be a thing to bring us together. Is Purdy to Kittle, Hawkeyes and Cyclones unite? Because it's not even a team. It's like the Bears that we all could. It's like San Francisco out the fucking coast that no one gives a shit about here, unless you picked your team in the '90s, and just. It was a troll job. It got me pretty well.
So if that was legit and that was real, there's probably like one person on that staff that was like a University of Iowa grad that did that.
That was the only thing I could think of. Someone made that stat, like if they're either talking about Kittle and then like, oh yeah, he was the Hawkeyes, they're rivals. Speaking of rivals, and then naturally segued into that. But yeah, I just saw it all around Twitter and every Hawkeyes. I'm like, yeah, it didn't beat us. It's like, name any Iowa quarterback the last decade that's been successful in the NFL. None. Okay, let's be cohesive with this one thing. We can hate each other all the rest of the time, you know.
Name one Iowa quarterback that's been successful in college in the last decade.
Well, I didn't want to go there just yet, but
I will. Fuck that.
All right. We want to
apparently Nate Stanley was good enough because I know the Vikings drafted him.
Yeah, I mean, and Beathard and Stanzi, and I mean they've had good college quarterbacks. I can't just say that. I'm just a Brian Ferentz hater, as we know.
They got rid of him this offseason, right?
Thanks, buddy.
I promoted him, gave him more money, all the above.
I wouldn't doubt it.
He's also the QB coach and the running back coach and the receivers coach, offensive line coach.
Well, this was fun, guys. I'll see you later.
All right.
It's good seeing you again, Joey.
Good having you back, Joey.
You will never, ever see me again. I'm going to go hang myself.
Good having you back. Well, let's move on to the nightcap here. We had the Chargers and the Jaguars. You know, we all turned it off at halftime. I think the Chargers won like 35-7. Good, good easy win for the Chargers. We think we turned it off.
Trent, can I tell you something?
What?
The Chargers chargered.
What's that mean?
Oh, it means they choked in the playoffs, and the Jaguars came back to win 31-30.
Shouldn't have turned it off. No, I didn't turn that off. I watched that whole game again. Insane. Trevor Lawrence looked like a different person in the second half. Like he threw 4 picks in the first quarter. Or one might have been in the second quarter. In the first half, anyway.
So I think I watched all 4 of those picks happen. I don't think a single one was really his fault. Like how many of those got tipped and just popped up in the air, second chance ball? I think every single one of them were.
More importantly,
what's that? Sorry.
Except more importantly, Trevor Lawrence balls out in the second half. They win. And then he goes to Waffle House after the game.
What's the order of choice when you come back and win like that?
Yeah.
I think Waffle House must have done a huge marketing budget here this past weekend, because not only was Trevor Lawrence going there after their playoff win, but the SEC comedian that I watch on YouTube all the time, he had a Waffle House videos popping off too. It's they had to pay some money out this past weekend or something.
Oh yeah, dude. Not only them. Was there a BK commercial every single commercial break this whole weekend? It seemed every single time they went to commercial break, BK was on there. I looked at Rochelle while we were watching the games. I was like, did we just see this commercial again? Or did I rewind and forget about it? What the F is going on?
I'm not really sure which one. How's that commercial go again, Joey?
BK, have it your way.
Oh, I thought it was the Whopper one. Whopper, double
Whopper. Yeah, it's the same one. Yeah.
Oh my! When you say the Whopper, I always just think about Family Guy. Finish this sentence. Landed the free home of the Whopper.
The Whopper. I guess the big thing on this game here is Staley looks really stupid right now, and it's not just this week, but last week, playing his starters. He didn't play them in the preseason because he didn't want to risk injury, right? Then he plays them week 18 in a meaningless game. They're in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. Is Keenan or is Mike Williams number 1?
I think Keenan.
Keenan is number 1. Okay, so they lose their number 2 receiver in Mike Williams. I think they have another tweak in that game. Now they get into this game, and then you get out to an amazing lead, and then you do not. It's these teams that are playing off. This sounds stupid, but they're taking the foot off the gas, and they're almost playing prevent offense. We don't want to keep going too hard because what if we get aggressive? We throw an interception. It's but you playing aggressive got you to this 28-0 lead, or 28-0 lead at this point. So I don't get these teams like the Chargers that just let off the gas, and all of a sudden you allow them to come back into this game. And again, Chargers just Charger at that point, man. I've just never got where I don't think this one's on Herbert. It was his first playoff game, but the coaching staff made some terrible decisions in this game.
Yeah, what Mike Williams, I think his injury was like a fractured, was it a lumbar vertebrae or something like that? It was a fracture in his back.
Mm-hmm.
All in a meaningless game.
Oops.
He didn't even be playing in it.
Wait, it's not like they're paying that guy $20 million a year to be there in the critical moments or something.
No.
Shit.
I didn't understand why they and the Buccaneers both played their starters even at all. Like, neither one of them needed the seating. They had it wrapped up. Like,
my only argument for why the Bucs would is they've been so damn injured all year, just get some cohesion with the starting unit. But you could make the same thing with the Chargers. They've been injured, but it's just, if you've been so injured all year and you're finally healthy, who the fuck cares? Just start throwing out some crazy schemes out and get some other players. Get Mike Williams the rest. Herbert, he wants to be out there. That's fine. But, like, I don't know. It's all hindsight now because you can see they clearly lost, and the number 2 receiver was a huge issue at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were going to talk about how Staley looked like the equipment manager picking up Joey Bosa's helmet.
Yeah,
awesome.
that was a big penalty. Slams that helmet down. Yeah.
Did you see that Joey Bosa went on to have an expletive-laced message about the NFL officiating in their game?
No,
I did not.
I saw he did say something about slamming his helmet, but I didn't see the officiating one.
Yeah, he was really pissed about the non-false start. The false start didn't happen, but
the way they said it in the game, though, is like they really hadn't been calling those all year, and it was like when everything in slow motion. Yeah, this 8th quarter second thing. Yeah, you can tell the slight difference, but in real time, it's I don't know. When you're Joey Bosa, man, you are so much better than everyone else there. You just got to make that play. But The one thing I did see a Chargers fan bring up, and I will sadly kind of agree, I've never seen a referee. Bosa's clearly pissed. He probably swore something back there, and he's walking off the field, and a referee comes up to him and starts speaking to him, is shocked that he gets sworn at, and then throws a penalty. I've never seen a referee goat a penalty like that.
Like seek out the
chasing
player.
after him.
Yeah, chase after him. Then it's like, hey, this pissed off player that's trying to get off the field that's mad yelled at me. Oh, and then threw the penalty. But also, it's like if you're Joey Bosa, you finally just shut the fuck up at that point. I mean, it's easy for us to say we're sitting here in our fucking bedrooms podcasting, but it's like if I got paid $20 million a year, I'd learn when to shut the fuck up. And that was the moment when your team is slowly sinking away.
You know, I've said this a few times about Chris Jones, ironically.
Exactly right, man. Just learn to shut the fuck up. Don't call Matt Ryan whatever the hell you called him. Just leave. That poor old guy.
He probably just got done getting sacked anyway.
Yeah.
And only being able to have the arm strength to throw it 20 yards anymore.
That kicker just missed another kick for the Cowboys.
No, he did not. Oh, he did.
That is 4th.
Yup.
Well,
is it the kicker or is it the holder?
I don't know. Well, we all know who's going to get the blame. I guess that's all I know.
Jerry Jones is already filing his paperwork. They just showed him up in the suite.
No, that looks like a kid. The hold looked just fine.
Yeah. This one went off the top of the field goal post. Jesus.
The good thing is these are only extra points.
Yeah.
They're only 1 point apiece. So, yeah. And it doesn't really matter at this point right now. I don't know if
it's going to matter if we've seen any second halves happen this past weekend. It's going to matter.
Yeah. But the good thing is they're only playing Tom Brady, who's not known for playoff theatrics and come back from big points down. So these 4 points, when does 4 points ever made a difference in a football game, guys?
Never.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I was just gonna say I was getting real tired of all of the Charger Falcons mashups I was seeing on Twitter happening.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the blue and yellow Falcon image. Yeah, I would obviously, man, just the stage the Falcons one's worse, but I mean that one.
God, yeah.
I would say that one was just like, how the fuck do you get to 27 points in the first half and you have 4 minutes just stalled out? Again, Chargers are going to Charger. They spent all this time in the offseason in order to beat the Chiefs. They did make the playoffs compared to the other two teams that did the exact same thing and nothing came of it. So they can hang their hat on leaving in the first round of the playoffs. They're going to hang the banner this weekend.
Yep.
Let's head over to the Sunday games here. The first game of the day was the Dolphins and the Bills. Again, another great game. Came down to the end. McDaniels blowing fat clouds on the sidelines.
Yep.
And then Skylar Thompson just blows the game. So, but yeah, another entertaining game. I didn't think that the Dolphins would be this close. I bet them to cover the 13 or whatever, but I didn't think they'd have a chance to win it at the end.
Are we really going to blame it on Skylar Thompson whenever he doesn't even get the play call until like the last second? After there's been a delay and they've had like an entire minute plus to get a play call in, and Mike McDaniel's over there like, what's happening? I don't know.
So what McDaniel said happened was the ref told them that they got the first down.
Yeah.
So they had their first down play called, and then they're like, wait, it's 4th and 1? So the ref told them the wrong thing, told them they had the first down, and then they had to get another play in there for that 4th down.
Well, they even pumped the clock on that one, I thought.
They might have. Yeah. But for them to be told it's first down and then, just kidding. Good luck.
That's
one
almost
was,
as bad as the offsides that they said the wide receiver was okay on and then offsides.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and especially in these games where everyone's focusing on one game at a time, everyone is realizing, God, these officials are actually fucking awful. All of them. It seems like every game there is, between some of that stuff. Now, did the Dolphins lose because of officiating? No. They lost because, like you're saying, it took them 45 seconds on a 40-second play clock in order to get every play in. That's where it was, and I don't know if that was a disconnect between McDaniels and Skylar Thompson, if that's Skylar Thompson not being able to articulate the correct play and getting people in the right spots. I think it's probably more that side. But let's be honest, with everything that the Bills were fucking up and you can't get plays off and everything, how did they only lose by 3 to those Bills?
Yeah, right. I thought the same thing. I'm like, well, the Bills are they've been beatable all year, but man, I don't know. Like, who do they play this week?
Is Von Miller being gone that huge of a miss?
On defense? I mean, could be, that could totally depend on how the offenses are playing them. They're not as heavy pass rush maybe now. They don't have to double team a certain guy every play.
You are down, you're down a third down rushing specialist, which is huge on any team. You're down a secondary member in Hamlin. I mean, they are missing quite a few pieces, but I think we also kind of got to look at, and I'll be first to say I'm easily probably the only, if not, in the minority of Josh Allen haters. But I mean, the defense was doing as much as they could when Josh fumbles the ball 3 times. He only lost 1, thankfully, but he fumbled 3 times in honor of Hamlin. He threw 2 interceptions. I mean, but like they have all these turnovers, and I'm going to tell you right now, if Skylar Thompson had 3 fumbles, only lost 1, and 2 interceptions, he's never going to start in this league again. But when it's Josh Allen, Tony Romo sucking him off and going, Mr. January, guy has not done shit in January. Give me a second here. I would say you guys can go through it because I want to go over as well the nicknames that Tony Romo had for Josh Allen in that game. It made me sick to my stomach.
I must have missed this.
Here it is. Tony Romo in the game called Josh Allen Mr. January. Okay, questionable. The champ. He's not won a conference or Super Bowl, so I don't know where that is. Michael Jordan.
What?
And he called him an alien because of how good he is. The guy had 3 turnovers in a game, and they won a game by 3 when they were consensus probably number 1 seed going into the season. This is just me being spoiled with having Mahomes, but like, if you're calling him Mr. January, an alien, Michael Jordan. Honestly, even Michael Jordan, no. The only guy that you can even say Michael Jordan in the NFL right now is Tom Brady, and he's got more championships. So a guy that hasn't won, you can't call him the champ. You can't call him Michael Jordan. And you sure as fuck can't call him Mr. January unless it's Mr. Shits the Bed in January, because that's all he's done in his career.
I don't know why you would think that Tony Romo wanted Josh Allen to win the MVP.
Yeah. Why would he want that?
And why wasn't there a stat for Josh Allen saying that he never beat the Iowa Hawkeyes?
Yeah. We have to do it for every single game.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Yep, exactly.
Ben Roethlisberger never beat the Hawkeyes. They should do it for every quarterback. Dak Prescott never beat the Hawkeyes. In parentheses, never played
them.
Yeah.
So does that mean when we finally see CJ Stroud in the NFL, we're going to put up how many times he beat the Hawkeyes?
Probably.
Oh, shit. Did Tom Brady ever play the Hawkeyes as a starter?
Ooh. I'm sure he did in Michigan, back when it was small Big Ten.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up right now.
So, speaking of the Bills and Bryant can't stand Josh Allen,
yep.
Are you just going to watch the game, the Bills, and your other favorite quarterback, Joe Burrow, and the Bengals on mute next week?
I'm going to sit there with my arms crossed and just go, every single time. Fuck that is all I'm going to say, and just screw them and no.
Brian's going to have
both these
Mad
quarterbacks
Cat face.
suck.
Dude, we're going to be watching the officials throw flag after flag with Carl Sheffer's crew working the game.
Oh, boy.
Ooh. If
Here, should we put David's comment up here? Because after that, there you go. There you go.
No, for that game, as a Chiefs fan, we benefited so greatly from having the bye week. Not only we have the extra week of rest, but now we're going into this week where the Bills or Bengals, one of them has to eliminate the other one. And frankly, my money right now is on the Bengals. They didn't look the greatest versus the Ravens, but the Bills were absolutely shit in the bed versus a 7th-round quarterback in Skylar Thompson. I don't see how that defense, if they play the exact same, unless they can get a tremendous amount of pressure, which now you're going to see the Von Miller being gone. That's going to be a huge difference. I don't see how they get past Bengals, to be honest.
Yeah, I am with you there.
I'd agree with you more for the fact that the Bengals didn't look last night either.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But yeah, true. I mean, they were playing a backup quarterback as well, one that thought his arms were Michael Jordan over the goal line. He was 2 feet fucking short of the goal line there.
I did love that play.
Watching that play, if he just keeps it tucked, he scores a touchdown. Like, they're just pushing that pile so good. Just keep it in. Keep it in.
Yeah.
Come on.
So
and just one guy fucking Super Mario's it and punches it out of his hands and just flew back. Fat man touchdown.
Dude, I love that 98-yard big boy touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yes. There should be one of those every game.
I will be real honest with you. As a Bengals hater, I was going, yes, the Ravens are driving. And then when he picked up that ball and there was just 4 Bengals covering, that's when I went, No, I don't like this.
I hope you fall over the 45-yard line. I hope you trip.
Mm-hmm. I was just like, of course, fucking another bailout here. Just how it happens every goddamn time. But
there were
that
two
block
big
at the end
touchdowns.
there. That was definitely a block in the back. On
The
that,
what?
On the return, the fumble return, the Bengals.
On Mark
hit him
Andrews.
in the front. Yeah, he hit him in the front, and then all of a sudden he's behind him and pushes him down. I was like, "Where's the flag on that? You got to call it." But
yeah, there was another big boy touchdown in that Dolphins game too. The Dolphins lineman took one in for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are fun.
Was that not the longest game on the planet though? The
Which
Dolphins-Bills game. The Dolphins-Bills game.
That one did. Well, yeah, they had to push back the Vikings game because of it.
It just seemed like
forever.
It seemed like the first half took forever, and then the second half really wasn't much better either.
Yeah.
Well, when the Dolphins had to add an extra 5 seconds on every play because they couldn't get the plays in, I mean, that's what happens. It extends the game.
No, that is just I couldn't believe it. It's like call something simpler or just call the same play. We're doing it again. Like clearly there's a miscommunication issue going on here.
Mm-hmm. And for all it's worth, Skylar Thompson was throwing dimes in that game. Like he looked good passing. He just
Get yourself an offensive coordinator.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like McDaniel is trying to do too much. He's got too many things going through his head. You need somebody focusing on just calling those complicated plays.
You can have Brian Ferentz.
we will all contribute in, and we will all get him a plane ticket down there one way.
Hell, I'll even use my airline miles.
To Thailand.
Oh, just going with Cliff, huh?
Yeah.
Brian Cliff hanging out in Thailand. Well, speaking of the game that the Bills and Dolphins pushed back, the Vikings. Do you want to talk about this one, Ryan? You just want to skip ahead?
You go ahead and start it. I'll follow behind you here.
Well, the Vikings did. I don't know. I think Ryan and I both had bad feelings about this. I knew better than to bet the Vikings plus or the -3. I knew better, but I freaking did it anyway. And then the Vikings, another one-score game. Like it was going to happen. They were going to lose one of these, and it just happened at the wrong time. It happened when you don't get to play anymore when it happens. So the defense was god-awful again, and that's more than the offense could handle this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty simple.
I mean, the offense should have scored more than 24 when you have JJ and TJ and Dalvin. You should be scoring more than 24. But I think all of the country saw what the biggest problem with the Vikings is, and it's the defense. That's just so bad. It's a dumpster fire. Donatel needs to go. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Dylan
it happens, though?
I don't know. It's over In the Zone here. He sent this today on the Discord. 10 of 18 games, 400 plus yards allowed. 11 of 18 games, 24 plus points allowed. 427 points allowed, 28th in the NFL. 6,608 yards allowed, 31st in the NFL. 6.9 net passing yards per average, 30th. Average drive, 34.4 yards, 28th in the league. Red zone percentage, 57.1, and 27th in defensive DVOA. So the defense they're not even a top 25 defense. They're bottom 2. That's what needs to change.
Is that bad?
It's pretty bad. It's not good.
Okay.
Is that bad?
Wait, hold on. I'm looking at some stats right now, and yeah, 31st in the league is confirmed not great for defense.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, was Cousins didn't have that bad. My brother's saying Cousins didn't have that bad of game. Now that last throw is debatably really stupid, but if you look into it, the coverage, JJ had 3 people on him. Osborne had someone right on top of him, and Thielen was running a straight line down the field. Thielen hasn't looked that great this year. So what do you trust? Do you trust Hawkinson to get a pass and maybe break a tackle on a small guy? Or do you throw it up to someone who's guarded 3-on-3? KJ just dropped a pass the prior pass when someone was on him, and Thielen, who has aged not so gracefully this year. What's your best option? I don't know. Plus, as he was throwing, he got hit. So I don't know.
But my thing is, why don't all those routes go past the sticks?
Oh, yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed. And why are 2 of the 3 receiver routes going in straight lines? Why are we not trying to do anything? I don't get that either. But Cousins, let me see what his stats were. He did not have a bad game.
You got to give him protection, though, on that play to get him 8 yards.
Exactly. So Cousins was 31 to 39, 270 yards, touchdowns, interceptions. What do you really want to ask from him?
8 more points.
I'm just pulling up the final play here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, look at those routes. Those routes are you're running basically in a straight line. You got 3 receivers on JJ or 3 backs on JJ.
3 deep all here, and this is one intermediate route. Nothing that's cutting to the goal line or the first line here.
Yeah, and in the middle of the field looks pretty open.
Well, yeah.
So I mean,
yeah.
So yeah, blame Cousins all you want. That's fine, but he's not the problem. A 31st ranked defense, that is a problem. And hopefully Donatello hasn't won with Thailand with.
Maybe.
He's probably having a good time.
But you know, on the other side of things with Cousins, he's not getting younger. He's going to be 35 next season. So we do need to find who's going to be replacing him soon.
Whoa. Don't act like 35's old.
It's not, but how many quarterbacks stay in their prime past that?
Tom Brady's been doing it for another 12 years.
Yes.
Yes.
What
Tom Brady was 35 when we were in college.
We've seen Kirk go. This guy's going to ball for another 20.
Yes.
Kids and healthy living, good living's keeping him young.
Yep.
The other
when
thing
you grill
too,
with aluminum foil, you don't get all the carcinogens. You're good.
Yep.
Yes. The other thing too is how often did we see in really the whole second half of the season us going first down, Dalvin Cook straight down the middle for 1 yard, first down every time. Saw that a lot.
Well, the 235th time, they're not going to see it coming.
Yeah. So there needs a bit of unpredictability with the offense. That needs to start happening, and the defense can't be top 2 bad.
Yeah. No, I would say you definitely need a solidified defense. I mean, does it feel like you have the personnel, or do you need to get rid of some players, or is it schematic?
No, we don't.
Like schematically?
Defensive line, it is definitely schematically. Hunter and Za'Darius are not 3-4 defensive linemen. They just aren't. You're dropping them into coverage. That's not what they do. Kendricks is getting older. Hicks was okay. Our rookie Asamoah, he was very solid this year, so that's good. But we need to figure something out in the linebackers. Defensive backs, Duke Shelley, he played solid. I think Patrick Peterson, this was probably his worst game of the season. He just didn't even look like he wanted to play yesterday. Harrison Smith, he's still really good, but he's not getting younger either. I think our safety should be fine. That Lewis Cine that we drafted in the first round, once he gets back from injury, I think he should be fine too. But we need to strengthen the linebacker core and the cornerback core.
So on the other side, Daniel Jones had a decent game, but God, his running is what killed the Vikings yesterday.
Yeah,
his ability to get outside and run for a first down whenever he wanted, that killed Minnesota.
You know what they call him now, right?
I saw that. Go ahead.
Vanilla Vic.
Yep. I mean, he had a whole 70 yards rushing. Now we call him Vanilla Vic. Okay.
Yeah.
It's such a weapon, though, because you make a defense take a guy out of coverage just to spy. If he's going to go, I mean, you have to respect that. So it's good play calling by the Giants using that weapon.
Yeah. No, he I'll give it to him. He killed Minnesota with his feet.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And didn't Saquon have a pretty dang good game too?
Yeah.
I mean, we only made them punt 2 times the whole game. They did anything they wanted to do on us.
Let's see. Saquon. Daniel Jones was their rushing leader with 78 yards.
Okay.
Yep. Saquon, when their weapon, they don't have any receiving assets on that team. I think that he had 10 total going into the playoffs here. But when Saquon Barkley only rushes 9 times and they win that game, that's rough. I mean, we all have to agree with that. I mean, 9 times for 53 yards, but he caught 5 passes for 56 yards. He did rush for 2 touchdowns, but it's just like you said, it was just when you only have to punt twice. I think they had 7 more minutes of possession. They're just killing you. Where, like you said, every time he was completing enough passes where you have to respect it, and then just like what Josh Allen does great, he was running the ball and finding those gaps when they're available and taking what he could. I don't think he was ever really. I don't think he was ever really pushing the ball too much. He was just taking what he could, slid, lowered the shoulder occasionally, and just they might be the real deal in the NFC.
We'll find out. This week.
And I guess the latest thing is Justin Jefferson, his quote today, which this is. Let me find it again. Vikings fans just like to make something out of nothing. His quote, I mean, I will be wherever I'm wanted. If they want me here, I'm here. That's not something I can really control. And Vikings fans are freaking out. Oh my gosh, he wants out of here. He literally said, if they want me here, I'll be here. Like he literally said that. And obviously he's not going to be super excited the day after losing a big game, but like, we're going to pay the guy. He's going to be the highest paid wide receiver in the league, and he's going to be happy with it. He's not, I mean, if people are blaming Cousins, for him to want to be gone, he's breaking all these receiving records. Who's he going to do that with besides Cousins? Maybe Mahomes. Yeah, maybe Mahomes, maybe Allen. But I mean, look at Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is breaking records with Josh Allen. So I don't get it.
The armored
truck.
You
get just like Kevin Varlick. You get just like Kevin Varlick things like Cousins is to blame. And
you got to get that armored truck, and it's going to be driven straight to Justin Jefferson's house, and they're just going to take as much as you want.
Yep.
And that's how he's going to get.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yep. Take as much.
That's exactly right. Yep. Yeah, but yeah, let's get all concerned about him leaving when he literally says, "If they want me here, I'll be here."
Yeah. He knows he's getting paid no matter what fucking team he's on. So. Yeah. Whatever, I can keep this good thing going, or someone's going to pay me a shit ton, and I'm going to talk about how accurate Tua is. And I'm definitely not still mad about Tyreek.
Well, let's move along here. Ravens and Bengals, another great game last night. And it came down to a Hail Mary. Could have been caught in the back of the end zone. Would have been nuts if that happened, but Bengals, again, we talked about it, Brian's favorite team. Cool. Joe Burrow gets a win here. But yeah, another good game. And none of these games disappointed this weekend. I was pretty excited
all of them
about
were
that.
great games.
Yeah. I thought this one might get out of hand. But the Ravens without Lamar, again, keep it close. So now they're in a dilemma. What do they do with their quarterback? Because again, he wants a bunch of money.
I'm pretty sure Burrow is second. They said in his first 5 career playoff games, but with the second most being sacked against. I can't remember what Viking was number 1, but it was basically all of our teams. It was Vikings had a quarterback at 1 at 25. I think Burrow was at 23 or 24. And then there's a Chiefs quarterback at 22. So it was like all of our shitty teams had the most times getting sacked. Joey, yours didn't. So congrats on the Falcons always having good offensive lines.
They just usually aren't in the playoffs, is what happens.
Well, but no, I would say I thought it was pretty good. Did you guys see J.K. Dobbins sounding off after the game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you really blame the guy? I'm going to pull up the quote as well while I can.
What do you say? If we had Lamar, we would have won.
Well, before that, he said, I should have the ball in that situation. I should be the guy with the ball in my hand, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
You got to play more than a couple games in a season to be calling your shots like that, bud.
Yeah. I didn't get a single carry. He should have never been in the situation. I believe put it in the end zone again.
He gone.
Yeah.
Him and Josh Jacobs, man, they're two in the same, I guess. But no, I wouldn't say. I thought the Ravens shocked me in how well they played against the Bengals. They were creating a lot of pressure to get those long third downs. But I think Burrow just likes being in third and long because it forces them where he has to pass the ball, and they have Boyd, Higgins, and Chase, where one of them is always going to be open if you can get enough time. It absolutely, like, I'm just sitting there every time. Every fucking 3rd and 9, they're going to convert it. Like, I can't remember which is the app that you can live bet every play. I'm going to just start going to that app and live bet every goddamn Bengals 3rd and long, and they're going to convert it every time, and I'm going to make buku bucks off that thing.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know how he gets sacked so bad because the two pairs of thunder thighs that he's got in the backfield all the fucking time between Mixon and Samaje Perine. I watched a few of their blocks yesterday. Jesus Christ, they can lay the wood on people. So I don't know how he gets sacked so much other than that offensive line's atrocious. Oh, Julio Jones with a touchdown, baby. Speaking of Falcons stuff.
There we go.
Hell yeah.
This is the start. This is the start of the Buccaneers comeback.
Mm-hmm.
What if Julio was on this end of a huge comeback with Tom Brady now? That'd be dope.
With being it versus the Cowboys, man, you'd hate to see it.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be rough.
It'd be tough on America's team, but I think we'd get through it.
America's team, 25 years ago. Jesus.
One thing about this game, I'm just going to go into hater mode for a second because I've been too nice about the Bengals. Can we stop giving a fuck about what Joe Burrow wears in the goddamn pregame? Walking into this every time. Here's a fake magazine cover, Joe Cool. And then it just shows him walking with a stupid fucking bucket hat that no one looks cool in. And it's like, oh, and then he tapped Chris Collins on the wrong shoulder and he just walked off. Joe Cool.
Thank you. When we said something about him earlier, I thought of that same clip. He like walks by Chris Collinsworth, taps him on the back, and then Collinsworth's like, I was outclassing him there.
It's like he's just wearing fucking clothes. I've just never gotten the fascination with really any player, but specifically Joe Burrow and the fashion. Clark, we will see you later, sir.
Have fun on baby
Adios,
duty.
man.
Poopy diapers.
I'd say we can't have too many Chiefs haters in this Bengals segment. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I just every time, man. I just there's only one thing worse than them always in preseason or in the pregame showing Joe Burrow having to walk in. We're talking about during the game, and this is just me being chronically online. But Ohio State fans, get the fuck over that Joe Burrow left your university. He is an LSU quarterback. You cannot claim because I saw multiple tweets. But yeah, I mean, Ryan, we're on the same page where they're going. You want to know why the Bengals are starting to they're starting to pick up? It's like because look at all the Ohio State players they got. It's like Sam Hubbard, the guy that did return that touchdown. I'm sorry, I'm off the top of my head. It was like a couple other skill position linemen. And then they say quarterback Joe Burrow. It's like, no, the fuck, he was not on your. He went to your university for a year, and then you didn't play him. So then he left, and then he showed you what he had at a different university. You don't get to claim him at this point.
Yes.
It's mind-boggling that there's so many Ohio State fans that can't get over a guy transferred out and trying to claim the professional success.
So can we do that, Brian? Because on the crystal ball thing for recruiting, he was like 95% going to go to Iowa State. So
might as well.
Iowa State
he was going to go to our university. Yeah.
So now we have Purdy and Joe Burrow balling out.
I also see he's buying land in Iowa too to rent to farmers. So you may as well claim him as an Iowa resident.
He's my neighbor, actually, because he's buying land in my same state.
Dude, you don't know how many times as a healthcare worker down in Kansas, like, oh, you're originally from Iowa? Do you know so-and-so? It's like, there's like 3 million people that live there. No, I don't.
Okay, so I have something for that. When you remember when I was working in Emporia?
Yes.
So I had patients and they asked me where I'm from. I'm like, I'm from Southeast South Dakota. Like, oh, where? I'm like, well, do you know like the Yankton area? Oh yeah. We go pheasant hunting up in South Dakota all the time in that area. They go, do you know where Lesterville is? I'm like, I know where Lesterville is. Yeah. I'm from Scotland, so I'm like 12 miles from Lesterville or whatever. Like, oh yeah, we go to Lesterville every pheasant season, and and we blow a lot of money there. And it's like, anybody know what Lesterville is besides Trent?
And then pour some sugar on me starts playing in the background.
It's a town of about 200 people, if I'm gonna give it even that many, that has, I believe, 2 strip clubs. And so during pheasant season, the owners fly a bunch of strippers up from Dallas, and yeah, pheasant, it's huge. But yeah, just in Little Emporia, Kansas. Oh yeah, we know where Lesterville is. Yeah, I know what you guys do.
Looks like I need to start hunting pheasants
and catch STDs.
Kevin is exact. Which I have never been to the ones in Lesterville. I can truthfully say that, so I don't know how bad it is, but I know how bad it is in Yankton. So
I once watched a one-armed stripper take off her prosthetic and dance with my one-legged boss on the stage. So that was in Fort Dodge. So it can't be any worse than that.
Thanks. That was nice of them.
Yeah, they were having a good time.
All right,
they were just jumping around.
Yeah. I was going to go.
I want to go back to the quarterback. So back to the quarterback thing too.
Yeah.
Ohio State claiming that. I had to laugh because I was talking to my buddy about this the other day too, about how Joe Burrow is claimed by Ohio State and he's Ohio State's best NFL quarterback. And he goes, well, for LSU too. And I'm like, you know what? You're probably right. So I went to look up LSU's history of NFL quarterbacks. Do you guys have any clue who like their second best quarterback is?
Jamarcus Russell.
He's one of them.
Who?
Jamarcus Russell's one of them.
I knew. Well, who'd Bryant say?
Matt Flynn for the
Flynn's like the second best quarterback to come from LSU that played in the NFL. So LSU's not a whole lot better when it comes to NFL quarterbacks.
But you're not. See, the thing is, you're not having a player that was at LSU for 1 year and you didn't play him. It wasn't he got playing time and then he left somewhere else. You didn't play the guy because you went with I think it was Dwayne Haskins was who they chose.
Mm-hmm.
So he transferred out. It's like just the mental gymnastics. I mean, hey, I get it. You got to think of something positive when you have Ryan Day as your coach. But I mean, it's just Joe Burrow. He's ours.
That
so player we offer a scholarship to. It just makes no sense.
The LSU perfect season had Burrow and Chase plays in Ohio now, so. It was basically an Ohio State perfect season too, besides just LSU.
Exactly right, my friend.
So this has nothing to do with this game, but this is just the point that I threw in here. I said I love these expedited reviews and these expedited replays. Does anybody else notice this? There was a bunch of them, and they were awesome. Like it was on close plays. They didn't have to go to the, throw the red flag, go review it for 5-10 minutes every time. It was just like called down, and they're like, nope, change it from New York.
I noticed a couple of those during the Vikings game, and I really appreciated it. Yeah.
Yes, I loved it. I think that should just be a thing.
I was too busy being terrible at NBA 2K to pay that much attention. I just saw the big plays.
Yeah, I noticed multiple of them yesterday, and it was awesome.
That is great. I hope so. Did anyone else hear about that? They were talking about how was it Huntley that almost scored for the Ravens or something like that, and the ball placement was 0.6 yards away, and it's like, so you have microchips in these fucking balls. Yeah. Why do we even have the sticks and stuff? Like, why aren't we just measuring every 10 yards and the computer tells us, where the fucking spot is and everything? Like, that makes no sense.
I wonder if that's where some of the times, like, you're not even going to measure that. They just know it's a first down. They must be in their earpiece letting them know.
I mean, yeah, I get that. But then also, like, why are we even, like, just use the lines that are on the screen and just have them tell them, did the ball get past it or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. I honestly think that part of it is they're going to slowly incorporate replay getting out of it. You can't just all of a sudden go, yep, their chips and the balls were perfect now, and because that's where conspiracy theory comes in, you know? And it might even be just the first time they've started this in these playoffs. So
more importantly, how did the chips get there? Did they all get COVID vaccines too? Just wondering.
They're controlling all the players' minds.
Exactly. What is this, Last of Us? Oh, we're way too early for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Daniel bots. Fucking.
Well, let's jump into it. Good segue, Joey. The movie minute is back.
Okay, nice.
After a hiatus here, I'll just sit back and shut up, go get some stuff done, because I contribute nothing to this part.
Why don't you actually watch something good for once, Trent?
Well, with my Crohn's flare up the last 4 days, I've done nothing but watch TV. So, but
what have you been watching? Since you have nothing to add, what have you been watching?
Well, I watched a lot of the Iowa State basketball game on Saturday. I watched every NFL game. I watched a lot of the Sony Open from Wailea in Hawaii. I just watched a lot of sports.
Trent, I do think The Last of Us is right up your alley. Like, you should definitely check this out. As much as you like to play video games and stuff too, like, this is right up your alley. Obviously,
Trent's one of the biggest gamers I know.
Right.
Hey, I did get Game Pass, and I downloaded Flight Simulator.
Nice.
Dude, flying an airplane is hard. That game is way too realistic.
Yes.
I flew from Sioux Falls to Wichita.
Oh, why didn't you fly over my house?
Maybe I did fly over Scotland to that house, but
I'm talking about Sturgis. Jeez.
Yeah, I didn't fly that far west. But yeah, so anyway, talk me into it then. What's it about?
So for those that don't know, I guess the premise for this is based on, it's a PlayStation video game, correct? The Last of Us.
Yes.
It's a apocalyptic zombie video game that is based on basically a fungus taking over the United States or the world because of global warming. It's not a virus or anything else, but it's a fungus that actually grows everyone and turns them into zombies. And then it jumps forward about 30 years, and there's a girl that I guess is very important to the storyline. I didn't play the video game, so that's the extent I know, and I'm excited to just move forward with this. But it stars Pascal.
Pedro, yeah.
Yep. And then the little girl that was
we all know
Bear Island and Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Lady Mormont.
Yeah, Lady Mormont. Yeah, Lyanna Mormont. But yeah, she's it's very, very well acted, and man, the action scenes are amazing in it right now. I would definitely check it out. Okay, thank you. It's, to me, it was a better done Walking Dead, for damn sure. Again, HBO is better than AMC at zombie stuff. What up, Dart?
Uh-oh.
The escape scene when they tried to leave town, that was awesome.
Yep.
Absolutely freaking awesome.
So this is a series?
Yep. Yeah, it's the first episode. They'll have a new episode every week. I believe 9 episodes this season.
Yep. Every Sunday at 8.
It was the first time where I've seen people that I feel like acted the way I would, where it's like see someone pulled over on the side of the road and they're like, please pull over. It's like, that's how you get caught. We're just going to keep moving, you know? And yeah, I mean, it was one of those where I think if you, well, a lot of us watched I didn't get to it, but the Halo series on Paramount, you watch where some good things happen, but there's a lot of things that people didn't like. I feel like this one, with it being HBO, you have the budget, you have the directing, you have the ability. I mean, no offense to swear. I mean, I think that's going to create a way more realistic, just story. To be honest, and I'm aware of The Last of Us and Last of Us 2. I'm Xbox for life, so I've never played it yet. But I mean, from everything that I've heard, it's very accurate portrayal for the characters that is, and I have not heard one negative thing about it yet. If
you go on Twitter, though, there's a lot of videos comparing scenes from the show from scenes on this game, and very, very, very similar. Like,
nice.
Like straight copied it, which is awesome. So,
yeah.
I mean,
what was your opinion, Ryan?
For me, it was a 10 out of 10. Like I couldn't have asked for more from this show, from this first episode. Set everything up great. A lot of suspense, thriller type deal. But yeah, the acting was great. It was a phenomenal first episode. It really was.
Right.
What did you say it was for? PS2?
Well, it's been released on PS3, PS4, PS5. It's been released.
If they don't do a cross-platform release because of this show, they're stupid.
It's it's a Sony studio, so it's never going to happen.
Right, but I mean, they're losing out on a ton of money because there's going to be a lot of people playing Xbox that want to play that game.
This is me, Xbox homer. They know that's how they're going to be able to compete. You have to play. Right. You have to buy our PlayStation in order to play these specific games, because they have a lot of great games like God of War,
Uncharted.
Yeah, Uncharted, Ghost of Tsushima. I'm going to say Tsushima. I know it's wrong, but Becoming Human. There's a lot of like story-based games like that I would love to have on Xbox, but they're Sony release only or PlayStation release only. So
their exclusives are way better than Xbox's exclusives.
I think Xbox is going to start competing with that Game Pass where they're buying or like Blizzard and Activision. I think that's where they're going to start making up ground there.
Yeah. But if you like, I've seen enough videos of the game. Like they're zombies, but they're not zombies. Like they're called clickers in the game. They're a little different. It's interesting. I think you'll love it. I know I loved it.
No, I'm really. I'm finally. I've been trying to find what's the next thing to watch. Finally got a Sunday show that I can tune back into, like Game of Thrones was, and everything else.
I had to kind of beg my wife to watch it because we started watching Yellowstone, and we were just on the first season, which Yellowstone is very good. It's really good. I understand why everyone loves it so much now. But we finished the first season. I'm like, okay, the show is coming out one episode a week, and we just please watch this episode. And even she was like, yeah, this is really good. So we'll definitely have that in our rotation.
Oh, yeah.
So how many episodes are out on this?
Just one so far.
Okay.
Easy to catch up on.
6 more days to catch up on it there, buddy.
Yeah.
How long are the episodes?
This one was an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hour and 20.
Most pilots are
going
to
just. Yeah. I know that was the same thing with Yellowstone. I think Yellowstone was like an hour and 15 or an hour and 20 the first episode, and then all the episodes after that are like 48 minutes.
Yep. And normally with HBO, the big premieres and stuff like this are going to be over an hour, and then every episode after that will be an hour till the end.
Yeah,
till the finale.
Didn't Dragon Lord or whatever the last one is? Wasn't that a super long premiere?
It was an hour and a half. It was 90 minutes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was awesome. Definitely give it a look, Trent.
Mm. And Dave, you put on here you'll start watching it because we got you hooked into Barry. I'm gonna say it again. I say it all the damn time. Anything you can watch on HBO is well worth tuning into. I have yet to find a show where I'm like, this is not well made. I don't want to watch this. There's some that I just don't get into, but yeah, they're always well made.
I think Chernobyl's up there as well.
Oh God, yeah.
They just finished filming Barry season 4. So I would assume that's coming out soon. Supposedly the final season. I think Bill Hader said that's going to be the final season, but gosh, Henry Winkler said he doesn't want to say if this is the end of it or not. So maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe they decided differently throughout the middle, but it'll make me sad if it is the last season.
Man, the way the last season ended, I don't even know where they go from here. It was so awesome. But yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
Such an amazing series. I mean, just Bill Hader amazes me. He really does.
Yeah, one of these points, I need to make a top 10 of my favorite HBO shows because I probably could go to a top 50 if I needed to. I watch so much HBO.
Season 1 of True Detective, that's gotta be top 5 for you.
And it's my favorite TV I've ever watched in my life.
Gee, Alexandra, that one scene with Alexandra Daddario really put it over the edge, huh?
Well, there's that for sure. Yeah.
I figured as much.
And there's also a bullet point that Mando coming back.
Yeah, they just released an exclusive trailer while we've been recording here.
Yeah, I watched. I stopped listening to you guys and decided to watch it. Comes out March 1st. I'm excited. Joey, have you?
Yoda's still in it.
What's that?
I said, don't worry, Baby Yoda's still in it.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, speaking of Pedro Pascal, he's from Last of Us. He's Mando, so he's going to be in some top series this year.
Oh yeah, that dude has really come a long ways because he was the Viper in Game of Thrones, and then he was in a whole series of Narcos, the first two, and then he's starring on big budget HBO ones now. So good on him. And then Disney.
I was looking it up. I think HBO has certain actors on retainer, or they just reusing characters. Because the first thing I thought in the Last of Us, I was like, oh god, because I looked and the guy who was hosting the show was Big Head from Silicon Valley.
Yep. I was as soon as it turned on and I heard his voice and saw the side of his face, I didn't even see his face. I was like, oh, Big Head's in here.
Yeah, Big Head.
And exactly who it was. It was awesome. God, another great show. That's got to be in my top 10.
Joey, have you watched White Lotus? Kevin asked about it.
I've seen the first season of White Lotus and then the second season. So the woman that plays Stifler's mom in American Pie, I can't remember her name, and her character is get your butthole out of the screen.
Oh, sorry.
Those not watching on YouTube, Joy was talking to Bryant.
Yep. Yeah, not his cat.
No, Dart wanted to join in and turned right around and just straight butthole. So anyway, White Lotus was the very first season was awesome. I really, really liked it. The second season, I'm going to power through it. I don't like it as much because the woman playing Stifler's mom, her character is so whiny. It just gets on my nerves. Same thing happened with me in Pretty Little Lies or Big Little Lies with Meryl Streep when her character joined in. But I will be watching the rest of White Lotus, but it's on my back burner for the time being.
Isn't Audrey Plaza in it?
Yes, and her character is very good, super bitchy, but yeah,
she plays that type of role well.
Yeah,
I don't get how you could like season 1, to be honest, because frankly, I'm having to force myself. I've gotten through 2 episodes of it, and I hate every single person. And I know that's what they're going for, but it's like I can't hate watch this. Like this is just something that is not even entertaining. Like the Sydney Sweeney and her best friend characters might be the worst characters I've ever seen on television.
They are, yes, very much pieces of shit. But between her and Alexandra Daddario or whatever, like those got me through the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then the hotel manager in that just goes crazy, and I was like tearing up laughing at him at some points because his character is so unhinged. I liked it more and more I got into it. I'm hoping the second season's that way, but it doesn't feel the same to me so far.
See, cause literally everyone I heard is season 1 was okay, season 2 is amazing though. So that's weird that you're the opposite.
So I was talking to Dylan about it last night, and he was like, man, I thought season 1 was perfection and season 2 kind of fell off. He's like, no one else thinks that in the world. I was like, oh, okay. But supposedly the finale for the season 2 was like the perfect episode of TV. So got to get to that point, I guess.
Yeah.
David Righteous Gemstones was awesome, or is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing a season 3 will be coming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely power through that as well.
Yep. Oh my God. Still one of my favorite scenes where they're, barking at each other and she's talking about butt stuff. Oh God. So funny.
Mm-hmm.
Get to the end of it, David. It's awesome, man.
I hope it doesn't pull a Eastbound and Down, because first two seasons of Eastbound and Down were awesome, and then really kind of took a dive in quality after that. So hopefully it stays top notch.
Yep. And Vice Principals was kind of doing the same thing, but that's why they stopped it after 2 seasons, because I think Danny McBride knew that it was going to be going off the rails. So hopefully you're right. Hopefully Righteous Gemstones doesn't, because man, I fucking love that show.
Yeah.
One of the funny, a fucked up scene, but one of the funniest scenes is the daughter explaining her first love with her professor and just going into detail with her husband on how she went about it. And she thought it was, I mean, let's be honest, she thought it was consensual, and it very clearly wasn't. That might have been the funniest, just the way that she is, just the way she describes it. It might be some of the hardest I've laughed. Her character, her and her husband are probably the best characters, in my opinion. I think they're funny.
I could agree with that.
Clark, did you watch The Last of Us?
You brought me back.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I asked if you want. Aren't you hosting too? You can bring yourself in.
Yeah, I didn't close it because I didn't want to end the stream, or possibly in the stream whenever I had to leave there. So
I see. And then you came back, I could see you, and I said, Clark, do you want back in? And you never responded. So
I was just listening to you guys and continuing my taxes. So
too early for taxes, man. How old are you?
You got those W-2s, you got to start them now.
Oh,
that's behind the scenes of podcasting. Clark's doing his taxes. I'm watching the Mandalorian season 3 trailer while you guys are talking.
Don't forget to claim the 14 cents we made on Pulse of the Heartland last year.
It's less than $600. That's not taxable, Trent. I have not watched The Last of Us.
Come on.
No, I have not. I mean, you guys were raving about it yesterday, and
it's so good.
I played video games last night with my brother, so I did not take time.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic.
I know you're on that dad and baby schedule. At one point when she has to wake up and eat, turn it back on.
Doesn't happen.
Oh, okay.
That kid is back asleep here, and she'll wake up when mom wakes her up at 7. So
awesome. Congratulations on that.
It's usually how it goes. She just has a little stomach ache right now to go get some medicine. So,
yeah. Isn't it nice having an easy baby when everyone warns you parenthood's going to be terrible. You'll never get sleep. And it's like, I haven't really changed.
Everyone's like, you guys just stand up all the time. Nope. She sleeps all night. They're like, but the next one's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
But even like the first 3 months of my paternity leave, I think the latest I stayed up was like 12 one night with her. Other than that, she was sleeping in bed all night.
It's just like before. If I'm up till 2, it's because of video games, not because of the baby.
Yeah, we had to wake Amelia up because she was preemie, so we had to wake her up every 3 hours to feed her. Like the first, I don't know, 6 months, whatever.
When you're at the hospital and they're like, "Oh, you got to stay on this schedule," it's like, you're kidding me, right?
Yeah. So we woke her up to feed her. She'd sleep the other 3 hours, and now it's like we put her in her. We don't put her in her crib. At 7:30ish, we say, "All right, it's time to go to bed." She walks to her crib, or not her crib. She doesn't sleep in a crib anymore. In her bed, gets in it, and sleeps until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Like,
hell yeah!
Don't do anything to stop the sleep training, guys. It's amazing. Keep going.
Well, it's funny because Beck found the sleep training that was kind of, I don't know, high end, I guess. I don't know however, but we did like 2 days of it. I'm like, this is stupid. She sleeps without this, and we stopped doing it, and no issues at all. It's just been, she's just a good girl.
Brittany went by a thing put out by Taking Care of Babies, It's like a social media lady who was suggested to us by a friend, and she just kind of followed that routine that lady kind of laid out, and yeah, it's been that easy.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's been fatherhood talk.
Yep.
I'm jealous. I think I woke up more this weekend with Catherine being at my place than you guys do on a nightly basis. So
yeah,
that's good.
See how easy this dad thing is. Come on.
Y'all complaining for nothing.
Yeah. Clark, Ryan, and I just nailed it.
Yeah.
All right. And are we ending this episode with dad talk? Are we done here?
Yeah. Why not?
Let's wrap it up. Let's put a bow
We're
on
not
it.
just about sports, guys. Come on.
Yeah. So any more parenting hacks you guys need, you let us know. We'll get it in the agenda. We always say we'll talk about anything. So here we are.
And if you don't want to hear about dad talk, then listen to the first 10 minutes and listen to porn talk, because that's how you don't become a dad. You watch Pornhub.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up here. I want to thank everybody for following along here on the live stream. It's been fun. Had a lot of people commenting here, chatting with us. So let's keep that up.
Appreciate it
on YouTube, Twitch. You can find it on Facebook, Twitter. You can always find the live chat there. So again, Joey, hit him with the socials, please.
I can do that. You were kind of stumbling and bumbling there. I didn't know if
you
wanted me to or
I
not,
clicked on something and I was like, didn't want to mess something up here. So
were you following one of those links they were talking about in the first 10 minutes?
No, I didn't want to in the stream and lose everything we've already done.
There we go. Yeah. All right. But yeah, like Trent said, follow us on our socials at Heartland Pulse for Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. Search us on Facebook, just Pulse of the Heartland. Same thing for YouTube. Follow us live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays for sure. And if we have any others coming out, we are going to have a combat sports podcast coming out this week for UFC 283. So that'll be coming out as well on Thursday. So that one will probably be at 7:30. Then we'll jump right into our amateur hour at 8:30. So yeah, follow us Wednesday night for Road to 13 now. Well, I guess it's probably less than that, but whatever. Road to the playoffs, baby. So
Road divisional,
yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's all of our social stuff. As always, find us in our blogs on inthezone.studio. And thank you. Thank you again for listening to us and watching us all the time.
All right, everybody. Have a good evening, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Bye.
Thank you.